Hey, Kowalsky here. Welcome back to another video. Now, this video continues the 20th century game of the century. I've made a short about it, but in 60 seconds you cannot really cover such a complex masterpiece played by none other than Bobby Fischer. He was 13 only at the time that this game was played, and the game was played in the Rosenwald Memorial. He played it against an IM. This memorial was held at the Marshall Chess Club in 1956, so you should be familiar with the Marshall Chess Club, obviously, by now. And this was named by Hans Kmoch the game of the century. So this game is going to be Grunfeld, and a pretty rare Grunfeld here. Even after move 6, there hasn't really been a game that was played before this one. Here, even after the move knight b to d7, this is just a completely new approach played by Bobby Fischer. It has been tried since, but with little success for black. Actually, only draws are the best result that black has gotten. But okay, this game is not going to end in a draw, and we all know it, but let's see how or why. So we have rook to d1, and now knight to b6, just attacking the queen. Queen goes to c5 and bishop g4. Now just pinning the knight, and always an interesting move. Now with the knight pinned, you might have certain tactics on the d4 pawn, not in this position, but maybe in a different position. That might arise after this knight moves. So we have bishop g5 trying to attack that knight, or maybe even pin it, because this pawn would be hanging if the knight would move. But this move here just blunders a tactic. That's knight a4. And if you take the knight, you're victim to this capture right here. And if you try to claim that, well, you can still take this pawn and save your queen, well, now you're lost completely because of the queen a5 check. And now let's say b4, you block the check, you don't want to move the king. Now queen takes a4, and you can never take the knight, because if you take the knight, you just get rook to e8. And now, I mean, you can make attempts at stopping, for example, this move with the bishop, but you're still lost. For example, bishop f6, and I mean, even if you lose a bishop here, you just lose this pawn. The bishop is still pinned. You have to go rook d2. Now you can take this pawn, and I mean, white is just lost simply. So that's why white tried this queen a3 approach, but this allows the knight takes on c3, and now after b takes on c3, this is the usual Grunfeld structure, but it's no good this time because of knight takes on e4, and the pawn is just lost. Again, you don't really care about this because of multiple tactics, but Donald Bryan, his opponent, just decides to take the pawn anyways. And now begins the beauty. We have queen to b6, and now bishop to c4, trying to get castled. And here we have knight takes on c3. If you try to take the knight, well, rook a to e8 again, pinning the bishop, and you cannot really defend it. If you try to defend it with the queen, again, move like bishop takes on f3 comes really handy, and then just queen to c7, and now, I mean, probably white is going to be forced to go for this worst variation, but again, he's lost. So instead, after this move knight takes on c3, white tries bishop to c5, but Bobby Fischer here plays the amazing move that you saw in the shorts. He plays the move rook f to e8 check, and then bishop to e6, just sacrificing his queen, and believe it or not, this is the top engine line. So his opponent, not having anything better, he decides to take the queen. But you're gonna see, now white is up 8 points of material. Let's count in maybe 5 moves the material again. So we have now only +5, and Bobby Fischer uses the windmill technique to pick up one more pawn and then to get an attack on the rook. So now he's up +4 white, but now only +1. He tries to attack the bishop, but simply rook to a4, defending the bishop. The knight defends the rook, and the bishop here defends the knight, the dragon bishop. We have now queen takes on b6, as you cannot really do anything else. I mean, here maybe if you cannot try a different queen move. Your queen is simply under attack. If you try to defend the rook, now you simply get checked and you get forked, so you lose even more material. Okay, so instead we have queen takes on b6, and now the material count is actually black is up 3 points of material. So now 4 and now 5. So the queen sacrifice was totally worth it. And simply white is without the move. He tries rook e1, maybe trading one pair of rooks, which Fischer happily does as he's up material, and now just centralizes the bishop. His king is completely safe. Just knight f3. Here he could have even traded if he really wanted to, just make it simple, go for a check and then push the pawns, but he decided to keep pieces on the board and play knight e4. So we have queen to b8, b5. Obviously white tries something. He's not just gonna resign. h5, stopping any future possibilities of anything, and now knight to e5, but you're never gonna get to this pawn because it's defended by the bishop and the king. And if you're gonna get to this pawn, well, it's gonna be useless, because we have now just king g7, freeing up the movement of the bishop. We have the move king to g1, now trying to get out of this pin, but bishop c5 check, and this position is actually mate in 8. So now after king f1 it's mate in 5. You can feel free to find this mate, but king h2 would have prolonged the game, but who wants to suffer even more? So white is a good sport and he just allows the checkmate. We have knight g3, king to e1, now rook to e2 check would have been another variation, sorry about that, but Fischer simply goes for bishop b4 check, which is also forced mate in 4. King d1, now bishop b3 check, king to c1, now knight e2 check, king to b1, and now knight c3 check, guarding the rook, but also just these two squares, and just Fischer gets a very, very nice checkmate, showing that you don't need a queen if you got an army of pieces. So that was the game, considered the game of the century. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I'll see you all in the next one. Kowalsky